had a friend of mine's mom who I knew from a relationship with her that she'd taken care of a lot of families and the connection that she'd had with those families for many generations. And so I thought that'd be really interesting to do something like that. And she had an opening at her office, and I applied for it, and I begged her to let me start there. And so I started in a training program out of college. And it took me a couple years to really understand the impact of what everybody was doing. But once I got a taste for that, I really wanted to stay in the profession. I think Mariner Wealth Advisors is unique because of the ability that you have to be so close to the client. I kind of use the example of it's really hard sometimes to see the client all the way through a fog, and that fog would be having to get out and bring in your own business, having to deal with all the compliance that comes along with being an advisor, or having to do the investment research, and all that fog takes you away from your relationship and closeness with the client. And Mariner makes it really easy to have all of that stuff done and complete so that the advisor can just have that really close, intimate relationship with the client. I think a successful client relationship has a lot to do with mutual respect between people. It's the advisor really respecting the client and where they've come from, what their family background's like, their relationship with money, how they've received that money, and what they want to teach their children. But it's also the client having respect for the advisor, that there's some expertise there, something that they can learn and benefit from their relationship with Mariner and the advisor. And I think a successful relationship also is really a long-term focus, where you're thinking, how can I help the client, their kids, their grandkids, their legacy of their family? And when everyone's on the same team in that regard, it makes for a very successful client relationship. I've worked with a lot of families that have sold a business or have received money because they have been involved in a business sale. And in those times, they maybe have always been putting their money back into their business, so they're not used to not having control of their ability to make that money or to keep going. So you want to make sure that then you counsel them through that, help with their family planning so they make sure that they know how that money will stay in the legacy of the family still, even though it's not through the business. And maybe it's through kids and grandkids or trusts that they can establish, charitable funds as a family together, and make sure that they understand what their retirement will look like, which is fulfilling and not just what they always saw themselves in, which is their business.